Hello, New Wave of British Heavy Metal.com here. Today is the 24th of March 2021. If I could make the usual opening request for a favour, and that's if you would please subscribe to the channel, that would be excellent. I'd appreciate that. And today we'll look at a band, Tredegar, who, for those of you that may remember, Tredegar was the band that was formed in the early 1980s by ex-Budgie members Ray Phillips, drummer, and the always excellent Tony Borg on guitar. And when the band formed, say early 80s, the new wave of British heavy metal was on the rise, of course. And at the time, Tredegar got hit with the Nawabum tag, and that's not unreasonable given the style of music that they played, and it was much different than Budgie and more typical 80s and typical Nawabum, I guess. Budgie were Welsh, of course, and keeping with the Welsh connection, they named Tredegar after the town of the same name in Wales. The band gigged around a lot and would record an eponymous debut album, which had the great Carl Sentence on vocals, and that debut album is superb. It really is top album. It's full of big riffs, big rhythm section, blistering guitar work from riff monster Borg, and those soaring vocals of Carl Sentence. Doomer, towering opener. It's short, it's to the point. There's huge chunky chords going on, big hook, great solo from Borg. Straight on hard rocker right from the start. Fantastic. Packs all that into about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The Alchemist rocks it up further. There's a really excellent free-flowing riff, more of that rock-solid drumming and Borg guitar magic. Few of the songs have a connection with the War of the Roses, would you believe, such as Richard III and Battle of Bosworth. Those two historical, well, one historical figure and one historical battle being linked together, of course, a few centuries ago. And they are two contrasting songs, style-wise. Richard III having a sort of a gently plucked, strung, folksy type opening section before all the power comes in, and then we're off. More monster free-flowing riffs, chords, solos, and that phenomenal voice of Carl Sentence all over it. Whereas Battle of Bosworth is a more direct, in-your-face, short, heavy rocker. The rest of the album is equally great. We've got The Jester, Which Way to Go, and Wheels, a trio of excellent heavy rockers, full of meat and power and hooks and all the rest of it. I'd say Tredegar's first album compares not unlike early Saracen, but without all the keyboards. Really is, in my view, a killer of an album, but unfortunately didn't see much label support, so the album didn't make too much of a mark. Russ North would come in on vocals, and although he and Andy Wood, the other guitarist, left to join Cloven Hoof, and the band sort of like faded away a little bit. But Ray Phillips, bit of a man on a mission, he wouldn't let it lie, kept things going. A much changed lineup he'd put together, and they did record a second album in 1991, but it wasn't released, I guess. No label support again, perhaps. And not long after that, the band split for good. That debut album has been a little bit hard to find on CD. I still prefer CD to any other musical format, and I'd pretty much resigned myself to never finding it until a few days ago. I did. I found myself looking for something else and landed on a German label site that I'd not come across before, and lo and behold, it was listed on there under like Tredegar Remix and Rebirth. Both albums on the CD, a remix of the first album and the unreleased second album, so that was snapped up quickly. It was on, if I pronounce it right, Kathago Records. I've put a link to Kathago in the description underneath if you'd like to go and see if they've still got it. And whilst Tredegar's debut is superb new wave of British heavy metal style 80s rock from that period, and should have gone and done on much better than it did. The second album is it's not as good as the first, but it's still a solid effort. As well as they say that the CD with both on, I found on Kathago Records, link in the description. I've looked around on Amazon a bit more, and for those of you that like all that streaming jiggery-pokery, the debut album is on Amazon Music. Highly recommend both. Say it really is good old new wave of British heavy metal style, but you've got that marvelous guitar work of Tony Borg all over the first album. The man, you know, he can out-riff most, and he can shred with the best, and what a player. I mean, he proved that in Budgie, didn't he? And he went on to prove it some more with Tredegar. So as I said, there's links to the Kathago Records and the debut album on Amazon underneath in the description. Link back to the blog post on the website as well if you'd like to read that. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.